Hi everyone, welcome back. On today's journal, I would like to talk about ego, one of my favorite subjects. There are plenty of materials available about ego, and also there is a lot of misunderstanding in spiritual community about ego as well, because I hear people saying that make a friend with your ego, raise your ego is good, bad. So when we say ego, what are we referring? Is there a thing or person inside of us? No, when we say ego is an accumulation, is a collection of our emotions, thoughts, feelings, story, and the memory. Literally is our identity. In fact, it's just a mind activity. So there is no one there, like saying that the water in the mirage, there is no water. Same as that, you cannot make a friend with your ego or raise the ego, or ego isn't a good or bad. It's just mind activity. It's an appearance. The reason we wanted to make a friend with ego or we want to raise the ego because we have forgotten our true nature. We live in this ignorant and identifying ourselves with these feelings. Then we wanted to either make a friend with the ego or we want to raise the ego. Let's look at this in more details. The term ego, which is simply meant in Latin, is I. In spiritual circle these days, there is a tendency to brand the ego as something bad or redundant. In the mainstream spiritual community, we are told that as long as we are controlled by our ego, we can't surrender to natural flow of life. We need to let go of our ego. We have heard it so many times that we stop even questioning how much truth on that. We often judge the ego as a bad because we associate it with selfishness and arrogance. Ego is the part of our identity that we consider ourselves. With that definition in our mind, for most of us, when we say I am, first thing come to us is our self concept, the collection of thoughts, feelings, beliefs, memories, and the story that we tell ourselves. Then we identify ourselves with that story, which is our concept, and then we attach to that self construct. Literally, who we are is our own self construct. Is someone to attack us or try to diminish us, our self construct, the natural reaction is to protect the story or self concept. This is the activity of the ego. The reason ego react to protect because we forgot our infinite nature. We believe that I am this separate self with my own independent existence, and as such I am fragile or vulnerable, I am in need. Then it becomes a problem because everything we do from that moment onwards is either to defend ourselves or try to acquire object, activities, substance in order to fulfill this incomplete self. So the forgetting nature is an issue. not the ego. So if we had to address the whatever thing we are assuming or calling as an issue, do not focus on the mind activity. Just focus on who we are really. Address the root cause, not the symptom. If you're going to work with your mind, then you will be working with your mind forever. Address the root cause, not the symptom. The ego as an activity, there is no problem. When we mistake the activity for an entity, another way of saying, when we identify ourselves with the activity of the mind, then our suffering starts, because we think that we are the activity. Then we forget our true nature. Ego neither good or bad. Branding the ego as a good or bad, also another mind activity, is another thought saying ego is good or bad. Ego is just like any other mind activity. Inherently, it doesn't have any meaning. It's just that the misguided truth about ourselves. From the perspective of our true nature, there is no problem with ego. It is merely a modulation of our true nature. It accepts all the experience appear on it like a screen, doesn't push away or reject any character appear on the screen. So don't try to validate the ego by either you want to make a friends or you want to raise it. Even branding them as a good or bad, do not give a validation to is a mind activity. Just realize your true nature. Once you realize your true nature, after that, anything that goes on is like be that sky witnessing the passing cloud. Do not comment about it, whether it's a white cloud or blue cloud. Just let it be as it is. Let the cloud pass through. Do not identify yourself with that ego, whatever the mind activity it is. It's just a story. It's appearing automatically. Let the story continue. Become as that screen. Let the movie carry on. Because from the screen point of view, the characters on the movies is equal. There is no good or bad. It's just the both characters or any character on the screen, just a modulation of the screen. Only one character point of view, other character is good or bad. But screen point of view, everything is equal. Same as that. Become as centered on that your true nature. You are that awareness. You give the light to all those mind activities. Let the cloud pass through. Same as that. Let those mind activities, it can be anything. Don't even brand it or identify with that. Let it as it is. So don't try to fix the mind by practicing mindfulness or any other activity, because the issue is not the mind that needed fixing. Because mind, you can't fix it, because everything appear in our mind. It is an automated activity. So we cannot control the mind. Even if we do it, that's going to be a short-term solution. It can last long for an hour or so, maybe half a day. Then after that, you have to go and practice the mindfulness again. Rather, become as aware of our true nature, and there is nothing to fix, because from our true nature point of view, everything is perfect. Everything is a modulation of our awareness. So let the ego stay as it is. Do not give a validation by saying good or bad, or do you want to make a friends with ego, or do you want to raise it. Let it be as it is. Any other mind activities. We become as aware of your true nature. Once you become as aware of your true nature, whatever goes on in your mind, oh, it doesn't matter. So that is how you can overcome the ego issue, or whatever we assuming that ego.